in them that you could bring out in praise. So if your wife is not doing something so well, okay, perhaps you could look and see how trustworthy she is and praise that quality in her, and maybe that will ignite the light in her. I always remember Abdu'l-Baha, I told this story in one of my talks last year. There was a man that was lying all the time. He was lying so much that the believers walked from Iran to see Abdu'l-Baha in Europe and say, this man is lying about everything in Iran, he's causing all these problems. You have to write him a letter to get him to stop. And Abdu'l-Baha said, okay, I'll write him a letter. So he wrote him a letter, and the beginning of the letter began, "O thou lover of truth." It wasn't, "Oh, dirty liar." It was, "Oh, lover of truth," because Abdu'l-Baha knew that there was a spark of light, that he loved truth, and he wanted to bring that light out, and that light would dispel the darkness. Now, when it comes to correcting your children, because the children have a negative behavior, perhaps there is a way in which you can bring out the light in them, but you may have to correct the darkness. So I think it's a little different. So we can treat our children slightly different, but even so, we have to do it with infinite love. And remember that Baha'u'llah says that reward and punishment are two pillars, and you can't raise a child solely by punishment alone. That they must have the reward, so there must be a balance. And it's the same with love and criticism. And so, but don't treat everybody else like they're your children. Okay? If you ask me how to educate children, that's one thing, and that's your responsibility. But don't treat all the other people in the community and at your work and everything like they're your children. And nobody likes anybody that is just constantly telling them what's wrong with them. And it's not that hard. I can find what's wrong with every person I meet. It doesn't make you a special person to see a bad thing about them. So just try to not mention it. You may find that you'll correct their wrong things more by mentioning a good thing about them than by mentioning the bad thing. You don't think that you're going to help them grow by mentioning their faults. You can try it. And if it doesn't work, call me. Send me an email.
Yeah, sana.